Oh, welcome to the queue for Operation View to a Kill. It is US and KMT turn 7. And let's get on with it. KMT, $4. They're going to spend it all buying artillery. Come up here. And what will we do this turn? Yeah, no attacks. We will, however, do the same thing. We're going to shift one artillery from Yunnan up to Sikang. And then we will place our one artillery that we just purchased. So the only change really is a positive one artillery up in Sikang. And let's collect their dough. They have 1 income, and they have 2 bonus for the Burma Road. So they'll have $3 for next turn. US with $22. We're going to lend-lease a medium bomber to the AVtaK. We're going to lend-lease a medium armor to the KMT. We're going to start a major port for 3 in Puerto Rico. And then for the other final 2, we're going to do an upgrade to a militia. And income roll. So that I think that's our full 22. So that's 11, 17, 20, 22. All right, so all that money's gone. We will be getting a lot more money because the Japanese took out the Dutch East Indies. So that gave us a couple of dice rolls. That put us up to 34. We need to reach 35 to move our Navy. So our income dice roll here needs to be 1 or higher, which shouldn't be a problem, right? Unless I roll the dice and somehow a 0 is on it. So let's roll that income increase, and it is a 9. So that's better than last time. So let's go up 9. That'll put us at 43. Oh, tied with Japan. All right, so, yep, that would be 43. All right, so we can move our ships. We cannot pass through the Suez Canal for some reason, but we need that for tech. So we can move our ships in the Atlantic and the Pacific, just to different locations. And I guess they still have to be next to a U.S. Land zone. All right, so tech. We're going to start off with improved construction and amphib doctrine, both at 7. And red is amphib doctrine. And we have a 7, and that's a 6. So 7 is construction. So that will go up to stage 3, which is nice. All right, here we have in the middle range, long-range aircraft, jets, and large ship construction. And we need to get these dice, get those guys out of the way. All right, let's see what we got here. 11 and 11. So we got 2 out of 3, which is green and gray, right? Yeah. No, gray failed. Blue and green. So long range and jets. Jets goes up to 3. No, 2. And long range goes up to 2. All right, so the last is rockets and heavy bombers. I'm about to cough here. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. I've kind of been fighting something here all week long. All right, so red is rockets and yellow is long range. Long range, or heavy bombers, is successful. So let's move them up to stage 2. All right, looking a little better now. A little better. All right, so we have no combat, but we do have some movement going on here. And when I say movement, I really mean we have some movement going on here. All right, let's zoom back out. All right, so we have in port here in the Philippines, this transport. So it comes out of port into P50, so it can go 3, 1, 2. But since we have to land or stay within a sea zone with a U.S. territory, we have to stop here. The destroyer, however, can come out of P50 and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and wind up here at the Wake Sea Zone. And we'll get those out of the way. Always good to remember that, Philippines. All right, so over here we have, not that anything's within striking range, but we're not going to give any reasons. We're going to take our 2 battleships out of port here in Hawaii. They'll come over 2 and go in port here in San Francisco. We have 2 coastal subs in P25, which will come 1. All right, so that leaves in port in P29 is 2 destroyers and 1 cruiser. They will come out and go 1 space into P22. And in port here in San Francisco is a destroyer. It'll come out 1, 2, 3 into P22 as well. And we have 1 transport, so we'll grab 1 infantry. And he'll come out of port 1, 2, 3 and drop him off in Midway. The final transport that's in Hawaii will go back 1, 2 and go in port there in San Francisco. And that should be the extent of our movements over here. Well, that's not true. We're going to bring this tactical bomber out of the Pacific Northwest into San Francisco. And this light armor in Southwest United States is going to rail to the other side of the map. So let's go see where it's going to go. All right, it will rail across the country and wind up here in Washington. We have 2 rails out of here. Let's see, we're going to upgrade this one. So we're going to rail the Marine, or are we going to rail the Marine? We got 4 rails. We've railed 1. This one's going to the West Coast. This militia is going to the West Coast. So that's 2. So the third one would be this infantry from Washington. So those 3 are going to rail to the West Coast. So that's what I got to do there. So that'll be my 4 rails. And let's not go back there until we get our purchases. As far as ships, we got 2 coastal subs from A30 into A37. We have in port here in Texas in A36 these, what is that, a transport destroyer and a light cruiser. They will come over and join the fleet in A30. I guess those are technically combat moves. We have 2, my bad, 2 destroyers going on escort duty in A27. And the only reason is there's a brand new German sub within range, thanks to the attack on the Vichy group. All right, so that'll be it. I think I got to move, if transports are going to work, 1 transport that was in Washington will have to slide up to the New York port in A25. And that makes me think I'm going to upgrade that. I took the Marine off to do something else. So I do need this infantry to stay in Washington. So I'm only going to rail the New Orleans infantry and the Chicago militia. All right. We have a medium bomber in Southeast United States. We'll fly down to Puerto Rico. And that'll do it for us. Oh, I still have to bring that guy over. All right, so the railing over is going to be the infantry into San Francisco, and the militia will rail over to the Northwest, Pacific Northwest. So that's how that'll end up looking. Let's take our upgrade and our port. These 2 will be on this side of the map. We'll stroll across over here again in Puerto Rico, where we're going to build that medium, or not medium, major port. The upgraded infantry will be here in Washington, D.C., or no, it'll be in New York. That gives us 2 full transports. There we go. All right. Just on the outside chance that Japan does something sneaky. All right, and then our Lend-Lease here, we've got this medium bomber. and this medium tank. The bomber will come out of San Francisco down to Sydney, and the medium tank will do the same thing. Wave at the Japanese fleet and go in here into Yunnan next to the medium armor that AVtaK lend-leased us. So that is where we're at. Let's do kind of a recap of what switched. San Francisco now is fighter, tactical, infantry, militia, marine. Northwest has a militia. In port, San Francisco is 2 battleships and a transport. P-24 is 2 coastal subs. P-22 is 3 destroyers, 1 heavy cruiser, 1 transport. Midway has an infantry. Sea-Zone P-36 destroyer. P-43 is a transport. And over here, we basically moved the 3 ships from the Gulf of Mexico to join up with the fleet in port in Washington. So that gives us 2 light carriers, 2 destroyers, not 2 light carriers, 2 light cruisers, 2 destroyers, 1 transport, 1 heavy cruiser, 2 battleships, 1 carrier, and we have 2 destroyers on escort in A-27, a destroyer and 2 transports in New York. New York has 2 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 marine. Washington, D.C. has a infantry light tank. And then our medium bomber went down to Puerto Rico to check on that construction project. And that'll do it. Let's look at our cash. We do not have bonus. We did not save any. We are at 43. So we're going to collect $43. There's 30, 40, 1, 2. That wasn't even in the frame, was it? All right, so $43 for the U.S. KMT will have 3, and that is the end of turn 7. And Germany has already gone for turn 8. I just saw that was posted a little bit ago. And so Germany didn't bring the U.S. into the war. Let's see if Japan or Italy does.